Hello and welcome back to the more advanced WK video series. I believe this is video 4. In the last video I was showing chord arrays and using interpolations in those examples. I pretty much breezed over them. So for this one I'm going to go over those a little bit more. Not too much to say, but let's take a look. Let's actually pull up a file so we can see what we're talking about here. And so what's the syntax for an interpolation? Essentially, it's going to be a percent character, a opening parenthesis, and then an identifier, which is given lower down here, and then a closing parenthesis. It's not like a command. You can't change the delimiter or anything like that. It's hard locked in there. But one thing that is important to note is you can only give an interpolation in a description or in a command. Obviously you wouldn't really do much good in a trigger key. But essentially this interpolation is a way for you to access some metadata about the key chord and use that, as with your description or command or whatever. And so, pretty much if there's whatever the general data we've got here is, we can access it through these identifiers. And so let's take a look. We've got key, and this is the, I guess it should say trigger key portion of the key chord. So for instance, if I were to do here and do key and reran that, you can see that accesses the trigger key. And this will work also for, say we had special key like this with some modifiers or something. It's gonna, that's kind of a long example, but and the font's really big, but it's gonna give that full trigger key, not just the normal or special key. It'll give the modifiers and everything as well. And so that's the key identifier. I went over in the last video the index and the index plus 1. Essentially, that just means for the current scope, the index of that key chord, and you can figure that out by just counting. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It is gonna be affected if we said did something like if we did something like this, this is still in the same scope. It's not just within a chord array. These interpolations are available for every key chord. And so if we were to do that here, terminal, if we did index, if I could spell, then you'd see terminal 0. So it's going to shift that down. This is, well, I gave index, and here I'm giving index plus 1, so that's why it seems like it's 2 off, but it's really just counting on a different base. If I were to be consistent, then we'll see, yeah, terminal 1, 2, etc. Then we've got the description series. There's not really a lot of metadata about the key chords that you can kind of glean, but it's got a fair few. The last one is the description, and obviously you can't reference something that you're inside of. It's recursive and sort of an endless loop. So you cannot give the description identifier within an actual description. So if I were to change that here to description, I'm going to get an error. So could not compile. And but you can give that in, we'll just do that. You can give that in the command. So for instance here, in my command, I've for G in this chord expression, I've got the description special. I can give that description here as an interpolation, and then when I press G, it'll echo special, but I didn't type special. You can also, this is kind of taken from, or this is taken directly from Bash, the syntax. You can upcase and downcase the description. I've got an example here where that is valuable. I've got this chord array for opening browsers that has the the descriptions being downcase because essentially the browser name is the command. So yeah, that's one example there. You can upcase it as well, just the first letter with just one caret and two for the entire word. This is not super robust. I don't believe it'll upcase or downcase other character sets outside of ASCII, but it is there and is pretty helpful from my personal config. That's a little over 6 minutes, so we're going to cut it off on that one, and the next section is a pretty fun one. So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.